when you get your life in order and you start getting things in order, you're not as anxious anymore. You're not in a chronic state of worry or anxiety. Your nervous system is able to reset because you're allowing yourself kind of a control, I guess. There's so many things that are outside of your control, but when you start gaining control on the things that you can control, such as impulse spending or limiting the amount of fats and sugars, from going out to eat. Just cutting out going out to eat for like 30 days or 60 days is a total game changer for your body, because your liver has to go through all of those toxins and fats and seed oils and do something with them. And you want to give yourself time to reset. This is why, a lot of people fast, because it's like a reboot. But you can do this with any area in your life. You can fast from going out to eat. You can fast from alcohol. You can fast from toxic friends. You can fast from TV. You're giving yourself an opportunity to kind of reboot and reset. And it just feels so good when you do that. That's kind of what I've been doing a little bit. That's why you haven't seen me on here, because I'm doing a little reset in other areas. I've got so much progress. And then, of course, there's like little things here and there that I'm like, I want to kind of get control over and get in order. So I've been focusing on the little things to get in order, kind of like tying up loose ends, calls and just things that kind of fell through the cracks. I had like a big list that I'm getting through. And when you do that, you're not engaging in all kinds of different things. You're not engaging in hanging out, community, friendships, stuff like that. I mean, you still have those things, but for the time being that you're trying to really get things in order, you're like a gazelle. You're all in. You're tackling it one task at a time, and that's your big goal for that time. So I've learned to not give yourself too many big goals that you have to tackle. You're going to feel so overwhelmed. Split it up into what you can do now. So if it's like, I really need to get my home in order, and don't worry about, everything else at that time. Don't worry about, your health as much. I mean, focus on your health, but I'm saying like split things up in different categories. So your home is like, you're all in on that. You are knocking it out. You are decluttering. You're getting it in order. You're fixing or getting rid of the broken things. You're cleaning out the closets. You are simplifying, you're elevating your space, you're doing all of that, and everything goes into kind of that area. It's like Dave Ramsey's way of paying off credit cards. You're all in on one card, and then your minimum payments are on the other cards, and that works. So you're all in on one thing, and then you're a little bit in on everything else. Once you get the home in order, this is always where I start, is in your environment, because it plays such a major role in your health and how you feel, and it really gives you some wins, and you start feeling like, yes, I'm making progress. And then that progress, it just kind of snowballs. It gives you some momentum to work with. Once you feel like, okay, I've got my home in order, and that might take 30 days, it might take a year. I don't know how much stuff you have. But once you get that, you can go as fast or slow as you want, depending on how quickly you want freedom. Because the freedom is on getting it done. So you go all in. That's where your focus is. You're not watching TV. You're not movies. You're not reading. You're not going out with friends. You're like, no, this is my season to really get my home decluttered, get my closets in order, purge, and give myself a reset in my home space. Figure out what I want to keep, what I don't want, and that's going to help with your body. So once you get the home in order, then you start on the body. You're going to actually feel so much better, and you'll realize a lot of the problems that you are feeling internally and in your body are linked to your home. They're linked to the space, they're linked to your stuff, they're linked to the clutter. It's linked to your habits in the home. And so once you get that in order, your body will start feeling better, and then you'll be like, wow, now it's going to be easier for me to burn fat. That brings you into detoxing, because the best way to detox is to get rid of the fat. It's really the best way. You don't need to buy a bunch of supplements and do a bunch of juice cleanses. You just need to burn the fat. And so then you kind of shift into the healthy. You're focusing on your body. You're focusing on the toxins in your body. This is where you could start rebounding, walking, saunaing, cleaning up the diet, whole food supplements. If you do need something to supplement, I do take whole food supplements. Stick with a whole food diet. You're cleaning out the pantry. You're getting that in order. So now you got the home, then you got the body, then you might need, and during these seasons, you're going to limit all of the extras. Like alcohol is going to mess up your body if you're trying to clean up your, the toxins in your body and really detox. That's going to mess it up. It's also going to age you and dehydrate you and all of these other things. But once you get the home, the body, the health, and you kind of get a routine going on those, then you can say, okay, let's take a look at the finances. Where's my money going? What do I need to clean up there? Then you focus on that. You chip away at whatever bad debt you have. Maybe cancel some subscriptions, things that you don't use, and then you simplify that. So these are all areas that you're getting in order in your own life. It's going to start making you're going to feel so liberated and so free. You're not going to be walking around heavy and worried with anxiety because you're cutting these ties and you're cleaning up. You're getting your house in order, basically. You're getting your life in order. And once you do that, maybe go on to relationships. What are relationships that are sharpening me? And what are things that I'm involved in that I don't need to be involved in anymore? And start setting up boundaries. So those are like your 4 categories: your home, your health, your finances, and your relationships. Once you get those, and that could take a couple of years, it depends on how much work there is to do in those areas. That could take years, it could take months. I'm not, I don't know, but for me, it's taken some time because you go through an emotional experience as you're going through all of that. You kind of go through withdrawals. You're changing habits and you're changing, your patterns, and you might be walking alone for a while, and that's okay. The woman who walks alone, man, she is a powerful woman when she doesn't need the reassurance in the community and the people all around. There's 2 different types. The ones that crave all of the socialness, and I do like social. I like being social in certain areas, certain periods of time, but I know when it's my season to walk alone, and I'm fully okay with that. Because ultimately, this is your race to run. It's not an experience that you're having that you have to explain and justify to everybody. All that does is slow you down. It slows you down because you're involved in things that don't really matter. And if you are easily influenced, that's going to slow you down too. Because you could have like a to-do list for that day. You get on Instagram, you're like, oh, this influencer is promoting this thing, and all of a sudden you're derailed. And before you know it, you just spent an hour surfing a sale that you don't need or something. Now, if you happen to see something and it's something that you've been wanting and it happens to be on sale and you're like, this is a great time, I got the budget for it or whatever, and it's going to elevate my home, like you need to replace a pillow because pillows, blankets, and rugs get nasty. Those 3 things replace. Elevate your space with good textiles, good pillows, and nice rugs. So invest in those. It's going to make your space feel better, and they get gross. They get full of debris. You'd be surprised at what is in a throw pillow cover that you've had for 6 months or a year. So I rotate mine and I replace mine and I clean them, and that's one thing that I am okay with investing on is quality textiles, because they're touching your skin. The rugs are touching your feet. You're rolling around in the bed. You're rolling around on the couch with the pillows and the blankets. So you're going to want to replace those. But if somebody's telling you need to buy this Stanley cup holder that sticks to the side of your fridge, or you need to buy this coffee bong to have a coffee party with your friends, and it's the new latest and greatest must-have, and you have to have this, or you're going to miss out, shut them off, because that's so stupid. You don't need more junk. You don't need more clutter. Chances are you need less visual clutter, because the visual stimulation in the home, the visual clutter, is triggering this chronic low-level stress at all times. It's like you walk in a room, you may not think much about it like consciously, but your subconscious is picking up all of that. It's picking up all of that clutter. It's picking up all of that distraction, all of that chaos. And it's telling yourself like, this environment is chaotic. This feels, I'm overwhelmed. All of this stuff is just going into your subconscious, is suffocating you, don't even know it. And then you're like, why am I craving sweets? Why do I want to, do this? So you have to get the home in order first. Get that in order. Give yourself some space to breathe, some freedom. Liberate yourself. And when you get to the point where you start feeling like, yes, I feel like I can breathe, I have space, I'm not in a prison of clutter and stuff and bad relationships, I don't owe anybody, the Bible says owe nothing to no one except love. Man, that is such a great feeling, because when you owe, you're a slave. Your life, you're in a life of slavery, and it sucks. So you want to liberate a little bit at a time. Start with what you can do, and allow those wins to give you momentum to move you forward, to build up that momentum. And it's just gonna make you feel so good and so alive. If you're alive, you might be buried in all of this stuff, but you're not dead. You might be buried in debt, you might be buried in clutter, you might be buried in stuff, you might feel the weight of just the world on you, but you might be buried, but you're not dead. So you need to start with what you can. Start with the home. Start there. Keep what you love and let go of the rest. And you're going to start liberating yourself in such a way that you're going to be like, man, I wish I would have done this sooner. But there's no better time to start than right now.